Peter, I mean, did it come out of the blue? What difference can you make to Bolton?
Well, I can't get on the park these days, but
which is a pity in itself.
Listen, the club has been through a traumatic period. It's what it is. So you just got to look and try and be positive. On the training ground, I think the lads have been a lot brighter. Hey, listen, there's two ways to go. You either get your head down, feel sorry for yourself, or you get your head up and you have a right good go. Now, the first game at Bristol City is not one to dwell on. It was very, very poor. Can I understand it? I've been at football clubs like Plymouth, Leeds United, where really good players, the club has been through a similar scenario, and whatever we say, it does affect players as human beings. And that's not a cop-out. But, like I said before, it's where you react. Hopefully, from now on, and the players will react in the right way. In terms of, if you give everything you've got and have a good go, no one's going to complain. Now, I'm not saying they didn't do that at Bristol. I thought they were shell-shocked, but there's no room for that. And we've got to improve, and I'm sure they will.
Peter, clearly you're part of the present for Bolton Wanderers. Yes. What about the future? Is anybody looking that far ahead? Are you looking that far ahead?
Well, Jack, you know me, and I've been in football a long time. Do you know what the future is? Reading, right. At home. Right. And I'm not being, because I've done this, and that is it. And then we'll look at Brentford at that. You know what this football club is. I mean, someone was asking, Danny, the press lad there, was asking me about the new training for, well, not the new ones, but we've gone down to the so-called academy. What do I think? It's windy. It's magnificent. By the way, I was at Bromwich Street. I mowed Bromwich Street. I cut Bromwich Street. I cut the mud there because there was no grass. So it's in this football club, in terms of facilities and the infrastructure. And I know we've had to sell a training ground, is still up there with the best. So you don't look on the negatives where we have been. Let's look on the positives, and that's what I'm trying to do. And the future, listen, if we can get a result against Reading, which will be difficult, that's as far as I look.
You mentioned, obviously, you've been through something similar and you've got massive experience. I'm thinking that can only be a benefit to Bolton, can it? I mean, I'm talking about your managerial situation. You mentioned Leeds United, you know,
Plymouth.
Yeah, exactly.
Even Coventry. Yeah, I mean, football clubs do get in financial troubles, but it's how you get out of them. And the only thing I can't affect, but trying to help to affect, is the lads and trying to get them, you know, trying to get them enjoying things. And it's difficult at this time, but everything, you know, the football club is, like I said, been through difficult times, and it affects everybody. The supporters, the players, you know, you lose and you're not winning games. It affects everybody, and somehow you've got to work, and it's only hard work. I mean, there's nothing out there that's magic wand. It's hard work, you know, and trying to work hard to get to that level, and that's what we've got to try and do. And within a football club, because it is a great football club, and there are good people who work here.
BT, am I right in saying Jimmy used to be your boot boy?
I think I had a better boot boy than him, but he was about on the ground staff then. Yes, I remember him as a young man. Yeah, I remember as a young man. I think I left. I might have left in the December as he come in the summer. I think that might be. I might be. It's that long ago. I might be wrong on that, because I think I signed for this club in '71. Yeah. And
Jimmy Allen?
Jimmy was was manager, yeah, and I always remember I come into the Burnham Park, the home team dressing room, after one of my early sessions, and seeing this guy I recognised doing a session, a body session on a towel, and it was the late great Nat Lofthouse, and that, as a young boy, that taught me about the history of Bolton Wanderers, and that's what this football club's about. People who've played here with that stature, and that always stuck with me. That.
Have you got to reintroduce that then, Peter? There's been a bit of an accusation that maybe the history's been lost a little bit here in recent years. Is that something you need to reintroduce, or to help?
Well, it's well. Listen, I've lived around the area since the 15, you know, and a proud Scouser, but this is my adopted home, so to speak. It's never left it with me, you know, and hey, listen, it's about supporters, you know, and the ordinary lad in the street, and Bolton Wanderers have got that, always got that. I know a lot of celebrity fans who, I mean, Danny Jones, Vernon Kay, you know, Andrew, big supporters of this football club, but it's the ordinary working man, it's the lifeblood, and this is, you'll have owners who come and go, but it belongs to supporters, and it always will. And I've said that, and I've been fortunate to play and manage at some really big football clubs, but the supporters are the heartbeat. Do I have to reintroduce it? If you ask them supporters, nah, I don't think so. What you've got to do is tap into it, you know, tap into that passion, and somehow it will happen. You look at Swansea, you look at football clubs like Swansea who have been down there. You look at Bournemouth, who've been down there at low ebbs, and there's only one way, like you said, hard work, and with great respect to Swansea and Bournemouth, who have done fantastically well. You have a look at the tradition and history of Bolton Wanderers.
Even going back to the team you came in,
that's a great side.
It had to go down, didn't it? And,
yeah.
and then it came back up to.
Yeah. Well, I think when I first got here, we were in the old, what was 3rd division,
yeah.
And then. I mean, I was so fortunate as a young man getting my debut, and we had a left back called, well, it had some great players, but even them, yeah, but they had a lot of youngsters who got up and listen. If you do well at this football club, the crowd will come, and like you said, have you got to reintroduce the history? No, we've got to tap into it though.
Have you had it in the net? I mean, obviously you are local. People around Aberdeen will have told you exactly how bad things have got. Has it been hard to listen to?
Well, I've got relatives, I've got friends, and you know, Wanderers. Of course, it is. Listen, like I said before, no one likes getting beat and not winning, and you know, reading in the paper about financial troubles. No one likes that. But like I said before, that's the reality of it. You just got to fight back, you know, and hopefully we can do that. You know, and if I can help in a small part, great. You know, I try to help Jim and on the training ground. I've enjoyed it. So we've got to get the players to enjoy it, but more importantly, we've got to try and get some results.
Was it a nice surprise to get a phone call to say, do you fancy coming in?
Yeah, it was. It would come out the blue, so it was, yeah, a really good surprise. Yeah.
How do you see the job going, Peter? Just at the end of the season, or whetted your appetite for
Jack's just alluded to that. I mean, I'm just going to try and enjoy it, but you only enjoy. I've never been a good loser, so I can imagine how people felt after the Bristol game, and you can imagine how I felt, especially when you're on the motorway services and you put unleaded petrol in your diesel car because your head's going. That's not a very good sight after the game. So I had a great Saturday, but you know, I just got to enjoy it. If I can help the new owners in any way, I will do. But that's all I'm concentrating on. These 8 left. Let's get on with it. Well, I got no. I'll tell you what. I got back, and my car was like a Fred Flintstone car getting back, and I was absolutely. I thought it was lashing down. Yeah. It was lashing down, and I'm thinking, you just got done 6, and I'm thinking, and you know, don't you? You know when it starts bumping, and I'm thinking, oh, just please get me home. And it got me home, so I had one crumb of comfort getting home, and obviously it cost you a few quid getting it trained. Anyhow, that's another story. But that just sums and I understand fans paying good money in that performance, but I can assure you, if you would have been with me that Saturday journey home, I was just as bad.
I wouldn't have fancied being with you in the dressing room.
No. Well,
no.
Well, listen, I was involved in a documentary or something where they showed me in the dressing room being a little bit volatile once or twice. But sometimes you can't do that all the time. And sometimes when players at this football club, they weren't as bad as they were. I know that that's a one-off, you know. And like I said before, I can understand it. And sometimes when you look at people, you've got to pick your time and place. And that wasn't the time and place for that.
You
it might have been when I put that bloody petrol in my car. I might have been time and place then. I wish, but that's another story.
You expect a positive reaction then? I mean, it can't be that.
Well, listen. We've had a chat with them, and the scenario is, you either get your heads up or have a go, or you bury your heads in the sand and feel sorry for yourself. And there's only one way for me. That's get your heads up and have a go. And I tell you what, anyone who comes through the door and sees you do that, and he sees you having a go, and that should be a given. That should be a given, you know, as a professional. So we got to have a go. But I think I was involved in a team that got beat 7-0 at QPR on that plastic pitch, and I'm not blaming the plastic pitch, but it happens, and there was some good players in that. So it happens. It's how you bounce back.